Now, more stories, insights, and analysis of Illinois policy and politics. This is Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Policy Institute. Once again, your host, AM 560's Dan Proft.
Dan Proft back with Pat Hughes, co-founder of the Illinois Opportunity Project. And Pat mentioned previously the issue of property taxes in Illinois. The papers that I co-founded have done some digging on this. We've been rolling out reviews by region up here in northeastern Illinois of just exactly what the implications are for home values based on property taxes and, of course, K through 12 school spending, which is the driver of your property taxes in the state generally, but in suburban Cook and the Collars in particular. You live in Tony, Hinsdale. You're a big fat cat. And I mean that physically in addition to financially.
Right. I'm fat is what you're saying.
Yeah. Between 2007...
The viewers can see that, by the way.
Between 2007 and the Argyle is not flattering.
Thank you.
Between the 2007 and 2015 in Hinsdale, this is the period we looked at, Zillow started collecting data and publishing median home prices 2007. So we looked at 15, but then we project out to 2023. But between that those dates, Hinsdale School District 181 raised its local property tax levy by 20%, and spending about $17,000 per student in 2015, which is up, as I said, about 20% from 2007 in real dollars. During that same period, home prices in Hinsdale fell 25%. So here's what you have happening with this Byzantine, unknowable, equalize assessed valuation, property tax scam system that we have in the state. In Cook County, different than the other 101 counties, but it's the same thing. It's mysticism. But here's the bottom line on this, and this is every community in DuPage, every community in Lake County that we've looked at, every community on the North Shore that we looked at, and the rest of the region is coming. Your property value goes up, your property taxes go up. Your property value goes down, your property taxes go up. The one thing you can count on is your property taxes continue to go up regardless of what's happening in the marketplace. That's why the whole kind of, that's the bubble year number and all. It doesn't matter. What matters is what fundamentally is happening. When your home prices plummeted after the bubble burst, did your property taxes plummet? No, they did not. And that's why Illinoisans pay, according to a Realty Track study, 80% higher in terms of home value as a percentage of property taxes than the national average. People's home equity is being destroyed by the government. That's one of the reasons they're fleeing. And it's another reason why 1/5 of the homes in this state, 500,000, are underwater, seriously underwater. And it's another reason why so many people are trapped in their homes. This is a fundamental problem in the state that is not being addressed and will not be addressed with some other fleeting property tax freeze or phony baloney Swiss cheese property tax cap like we've had over the last 20 years, and we have the highest property taxes in the nation. We need to do something fundamental to completely rethink and restructure how we do property taxation in Illinois.
Yeah, the Hinsdale example is a good one, and I want to make 2 points here. The first one has to do with the fact that people recognize that their property tax, or they're told that their property tax is being tied to their public school. So if you use Hinsdale, for example, my kids go to the Catholic school there, but I know a lot of people who go to the public school, and those folks are so frightened by the prospect of their public schools not being perceived to be, as good as possible. They'll take those financial hits in Hinsdale because of what they perceive, even though they're getting screwed. And so that's an issue, the perception of tying. That's what the left does. They tie education to property taxes. If the dollars in result in Go ahead.
But before you get to your second point, do you think people in Hinsdale, your neighbors, really know? Do they really know that if you project out between 2007 and 2023, they will pay 35% of the median home value back in property taxes? The median home value projected in 2023 in Hinsdale, higher end, $685,000. You'll pay $242,000 in property taxes during that 16-year period. And then, of course, so it just decimates.
The answer is they don't.
Decimates.
The answer is they don't know.
Really know
they
that.
don't know. The answer is they don't know. But they're it's willful lack of knowledge. They're so tied to the fear that because it's tied to schooling, that they're so you can sell them, Dan, almost anything. And that leads to my second point. Those folks in Hinsdale, my neighbors, some of them are my friends, some of them aren't. Those people will be fine. They got plenty of money. Let me tell you where the problem is, or one of the problems is. In Grays Lake, Illinois, if you own a $300,000 house, $300,000, it's working class. Hey, I worked my life. I put down a down payment. I've got a job, so the bank gave me a mortgage. I'm going to have my kids there in school. This is the American dream. You pay $16,000 in property tax. How can you possibly afford that? How is the guy and lady who have enough money, saved enough money to qualify for a $20,000 mortgage, $230,000 mortgage? How in the world do they pay their first $20,000 in income before taxes to pay just for their property tax bill? And what if they want to send their kid to a Catholic school, right? They can't. How do they afford to do that? They can't.
It's a taking.
It's a taking.
Father Robert
taking.
Sirico calls a taking, because when taxes become so confiscatory that you cannot choose denominational education for your children,
correct,
that's a taking. I'm paying into a system I don't access. Then I can't do what I want to do, because the property taxes, taxation generally, to that other system is prohibitive.
You know who can afford houses in Grays Lake? People who are members of the teachers union. That's who can afford to pay the property taxes, because those are the only people, the administrators, the teachers, because of the fear, right? The reason why the people in Grays Lake will pay that, Dan, is for the same reason the people in Hinsdale will. They are so afraid of the perceived lack of value or the perceived decline in the education opportunities given to their children, because that's what they're being sold. If we don't pour more and more money into facilities, into teachers, into administrators, into this, that, and the other thing, then your kids are going to fall behind. And that's the scam.